Story 1. The Man in Black. It was the summer of 2008. I was 14 years old, and my best friend Jesse was 15. One night, Jesse asked me if I wanted to spend the night since his parents were working late. I agreed, thinking it would just be another night of junk food, video games, and staying up way too late. We were upstairs in his room, controllers in hand, blasting away on Call of Duty. The house was quiet, too quiet, except for the sounds of gunfire and laughter from the game. When we heard it, a scratching noise, slow at first, then a faint banging. I looked at Jesse. "Was that your dog?" I asked. "Probably," he shrugged, but his voice didn't sound too sure. We ignored it and kept playing until the noise came again, louder this time. "Okay, that's not the dog," Jesse muttered. We grabbed flashlights and the two biggest kitchen knives we could find, creeping through the house like wannabe soldiers. The dog was asleep outside his parents' room, which only confirmed it wasn't him. We searched the entire upstairs, then went downstairs with just our flashlights cutting through the darkness. "Let's check the backyard," Jesse whispered. I frowned. How would anyone even get in? Your fence is huge, and there's a drop-off behind it. But we went anyway. Nothing, not a sound. That's when I convinced him we should check the front yard, just in case. He nodded, so we split up. He went left, I went right. My side of the fence connected to the neighbor's yard, so I looped around to meet him. That's when I saw Jesse standing frozen, flashlight shaking in his hands. What is it?" I whispered. He didn't answer, just stared into the woods beyond the drop-off. I followed his gaze and shined my own light. That's when I saw him, a man, dressed in all black, standing still as a statue, his head tilted slightly, like he was studying us. "Run," I screamed. We bolted inside, slammed the door shut, and called 911. The police arrived minutes later, but of course they found nothing. The officers told us, "Stay inside. Call us if anything else happens." So we did. About an hour later, Jesse and I were downstairs, trying to calm down, when he whispered, "Did you see that?" "See what?" I asked. "The light." His voice trembled before I could answer. A beam of light cut across the window like someone shining a flashlight from the backyard. We called 911 again. Another search. Again, nothing. By the time Jesse's dad got home, we were paranoid wrecks. His dad brushed it off. Probably just a hunter. But we knew it wasn't. Story 2. The return. 2 weeks later, Jesse invited me to stay the night. Again, we joked about the so-called hunter, trying to laugh it off. His dog was outside doing his business, so I peeked out the back door and froze. Someone was peeking over the fence. "Jesse, get the dog inside, now," I hissed. We slammed the door shut, locked it, and pretended it was nothing. But minutes later, from Jesse's upstairs window, we saw the same figure again peeking over the fence, motionless. We grabbed knives and flashlights, stormed into the backyard, and aimed the light where we saw him. The beam landed on the outline of a head, just barely visible. We ran inside, locked every door, and called 911 once again. The police showed up. Nothing. They even stayed outside by the woods for a few minutes. But when nothing happened, they left. This time, we didn't tell his parents. Around 2 a.m., we heard the loudest banging we'd ever heard, starting on the side of the house, moving toward the front door. Bang, bang, bang. We panicked, grabbed the dog, barricaded ourselves in his parents' room, and took out his dad's gun. I dialed 911 with shaking hands. Again the police searched. Again nothing. That was the last time it happened at Jesse's house. Story 3. The tent in the woods. A month later, I was at my other friend Calvin's house. His parents came home unexpectedly early, so we decided to camp outside in a tent. It seemed fun at first, but hours into the night, while Calvin slept, I heard it creaking, like someone pushing against the wooden fence. I shook him awake. Listen, he groaned. It's just the wind. But when I went to check, flipping on the backyard light, my stomach dropped. A man was leaning against the fence, his head down, pushing, slowly. I killed the light and dove back into the tent. Calvin, there's someone out there. We sat in silence. The sound stopped. Calvin whispered, we need to run inside. He unzipped the tent slowly. As soon as he stepped out, he screamed. I didn't look, I just ran. Later, he told me why he screamed. He saw someone standing right beside the tent, close enough to reach out and grab him. That night, lying awake in his room, I could still hear it. The fence creaking. But when I looked outside, nothing. Even now, years later, I don't know who he was or why he kept coming back, but I'll never forget the feeling of being watched. And I'll never forget the sound of scratching, of banging, and of someone waiting just outside.